It is that time to welcome in our friend Ramon Foster, former Tennessee Volunteers offensive lineman. He gives us all the goodies. And so this is the week that we have had plenty to talk about. Tennessee hiring a new athletics director in Danny White. He was introduced on Friday. Ramon, tell me your initial thoughts. What do you like or what do you not like about this hire?
What I like initially was this. It seems to calm Vol fan base, Vol Twitter down. There was no backlash. They did, and I gotta give it a props to the administration at UT right now. They did this as quickly as they said they did to be able to get a guy of his stature, somebody that's looking forward to the challenge of just taking on the challenge of Tennessee. There's a lot surrounding it right now with the NCAA sanctions that could be coming, and just everything else. Stability is what Danny White seems to have brought to the University of Tennessee, at least on the athletic side, and that was just good to have him. And what I like is the fact that he wasn't over promising anything. He wasn't saying anything just to get you going. I think when he said intentionally, "I'm ready to go to work," and the nuggets I took from it was his emphasis on the student athletes, the understanding that they are the reason for everything that's moving forward at the University of Tennessee, at least on the what the attraction side of it. And then the other side of it was the other nugget I took was him saying, "Well, I wouldn't have taken this job if I thought it was already set up." He said, "I like the challenge." He has a family of athletic directors or college administrations as his brother's sister, or just or his dad is the AD at Duke, so he knows what he's getting himself into. And I think it's fair to say UT sports right now, at least on the football side, is a bit of a mess. And he said he's looking forward to trying to take on that challenge.
Yeah, I like those nuggets that you picked out there. Let's go back to the student athletes and his emphasis on that. Clearly did a great job at UCF and told us stories about how much he poured his heart into those student athletes. He said the first thing that he was going to do after the press conference was going to meet with the football team, pick out 6 to 8 type of leaders, then go on and meet with them and say, what do you need from a head football coach? Not like he's going to take their advice and who they want to hire, but it has to be somewhat comforting for a team and players right now that are in all sorts of a mess.
It is, and I think what he probably took from his conversation with them, or wanting to have that conversation with them, is this: he wanted to hear their pain. He wanted to hear them committed to the University of Tennessee. He wanted to hear them just say, "Man, give us somebody that care about us." And that's what you're getting from those kids, because we look at it as a business, and we look at it as they're just guys out there playing football. You got to realize these kids were sent away from their homes to be in the arms or be in the trust of a coach, a bunch of other men to say, "Hey, you can trust me with your kid." And they don't have that right now. So I'm sure that conversation was very eye-opening to a guy like him. You got to think of everything they've gone through. Some of these kids lived through a little bit of the Butch era. Some of them played definitely through the Pruitt era, and they've had nothing but instability the entire time. So I'm not saying it's going to be a home run hire that he's going to get, but he's got to give them something to show, "Hey, I made the right decision, and my parents are going to feel right about this too." It can't be a hiring by public appeal. He's got to get somebody in there that's going to do right by those student athletes, and primarily those football players right now. And as brute as they can be, and people assume them to be tough guys, man, they've got to be fragile as ever right now,
Yeah.
because there's been so much. And I did like his emphasis on keeping the negativity off social media. Those kids see that. They feel that. That's why it's so much easier for those kids to jump in the transfer portal, and you can't honestly blame
I loved that. I thought that was great that he pointed that out. You
them.
brought up the honesty of this press conference. I saw it through everything, single thing that he brought up. There was a bit of honesty with it. It wasn't like he was trying to paint this perfect picture. So that's a great point as well. He said, we're moving fast forward in terms of
Yeah.
hiring a head football coach. I mean, I could see this developing in the next couple of weeks. Ramon, what are your thoughts on when a head football coach is going to be hired, and then are there any names that are they're sticking out to you right now?
Right now, I'd say it's got to be done by next Friday,
Okay.
and I think that gives you enough time to try to finish rounding up the class of 2021 signing class. That's the most important part because there have been a lot of guys jumping the transfer portal or just chosen to take their 6th year somewhere else, and that's fine too. So he's got his hands full. I think they've blocked the the University of Tennessee private jet flight log on social media and off the internet. So he's keeping everything hush. To say I had an idea on who the coach is going to be, there are some names, but the way he's going about this, I don't think he's going to go with the hot name. I think he's going to go with the right person. He has a track record of getting the right coaches at the right programs, from Scott Frost all the way down to his basketball coaches and the replacement of Scott Frost also there. And it says that this is a guy that's very intent on doing the right thing because, truth be told, his job it really depends on this pick and moving this football program forward too. Rick Barnes is doing everything he needs to. The Lady
Hmm.
Vols played UConn as tight as they played them in years the other night. So those major programs right there are doing well. And this is one thing I think baseball is like a top 5 recruiting
Yeah.
class right now. Golf is a top 5 recruiting class right now. Everything is lining up well. It's just the biggest sport of them all at the University of Tennessee has some stuff that's got to shape up really, really fast. And for me to name a name, I don't want to be wrong on TV, so I'm good to go.
We'll let you use your imagination. And
Yeah.
finally, this is a younger guy. Look, he's in his
Mhm.
40s. It looks like he's extremely dedicated to staying here. He even joked, "Unless you guys run me off." I mean, how much do you have to put into that in terms of how important that is? Because this university has been through so much.
Mhm.
There has been so much change. Stability is what it needs right now, right?
It is, and you mentioned something that I saw instantly when he got off the school plane. The first thing I noticed was no tie, and he had on Cole Haan shoes. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, he doesn't have on hard bottoms, so it's just he seems very progressive in just the understanding of where that student athlete is these days. The student athlete from when I graduated in 2004 is not the same student athlete. So what I'm saying is he seems relatable. The coach that he's going to hire to me seems is going to be a very relatable guy to the kids that he has inside of the football program right now and the type of kids that he want to bring in. um, he said a lot and didn't say a whole lot of things too. It wasn't a rah-rah plea. It wasn't a just watch me. It was one of those, hey, sit back and watch us run a program the way it's supposed to be. And he made it. He said the same things you said: long-term commitment, and just buying in to the university and the kids. That's what I absolutely loved about it.
Ramon Foster, where can people go to check out your great work?
We are at J Martin Ramon on social media. We're on every day, Monday through Friday on 104.5 The Zone. That is our biggest platform right now. My personal Twitter is at Ramon Foster. That's where I'm usually active at. So it's a good time on there. We'll see what happens these next couple of weeks too at UT.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, my friend, for joining us.
No problem. Thank you.